Hi friends, I am Sriram Madhusudan Rao, working as an assistant professor in Chebrolu Engineering College in S&H department. So, I would like to explain the magnetic properties in this lecture. These videos are series of lectures. In the first lecture, I wish to explain about some basic definitions, parameters of magnetism, and also the origin of magnetic moment. So please follow the series of lectures to have complete knowledge about the magnetic properties. So in this lecture, I would like to explain about the topics like magnetic dipole moment, magnetic induction, intensity of magnetizing field, magnetic permeability, intensity of magnetization, magnetic susceptibility, and the last one is the origin of magnetic moment. So except the last one, all are the definitions. So these are the basic parameters, these are the basics. So without having the knowledge of basics, we can't understand the topics related to the advanced topics or any other things related to magnetism. So I would like to explain these definitions or parameters one by one. Follow me. So sources of magnetic fields. So I have given some of the general sources of the magnetic field. So the first one is the current in wire. So all we know that whenever the current is passing through a wire or conductor, a magnetic field is developed around the conductor. So this is the basic thing already we have learnt about in previous high school classes. So this is the first thing. So next one is the loop of wire. So the same conductor is taken as a wire and is formed in the shape of loop. So whenever the current is passing through the wire, that means in the form of loop, the magnetic field is developed perpendicular to the area of the field. So this is the second one, generally we can observe it. So third one is the solenoid. Solenoid is nothing but, again here this is the same conductor. The wire is mounted in the form of solenoid. So whenever the current is passing through the solenoid, a magnetic field is developed as shown in the figure. So this is the another source of magnetic field. And the next one is bar magnet. So it is the common thing, bar magnet. We have make experiments with in lower classes. So if we take the bar magnet and pour the fillings of iron fillings on it, they will orient like these blue lines. That means these are nothing but that is the magnetic field. So these are the sources of magnetic fields. So we can, if you can look at the bar magnet, this is north pole, this is south pole. The magnetic field lines are from north pole to south pole. Here the blue lines. So a simple bar magnet behaves like a magnetic dipole. So the meaning itself lies in the word dipole. Di means there are two poles. So this is the north pole, this is the south pole. So it can be treated as magnetic. The simple here, a bar magnet behaves like a magnetic dipole. So next comes to magnetic dipole and dipole moment. Magnetic dipole and dipole moment. So this is the north pole, this is the south pole. So actually the field lines are from south to north inside. So this is represented by arrow. So generally the magnetic moment was represented by mu, as it is a vector. We have written bar on that. So in the electric fields, dielectric also there is a electric dipole. So whenever the two same poles of opposite charges, same charges of opposite polarity are separated by some distance, it also act as a dipole. So this is the electric dipole, this is the magnetic dipole. So we have, if we look at the line, the magnetic dipole moment is analogous to electrical dipole moment. So the direction is vector from south to north pole. This is the general convention. So this is the magnetic dipole. So as we are dealing with magnetic properties, we have to focus on this only in this lecture. So mu is the symbol for a dipole moment. So it is having some direction. We have written a bar which is mu bar. So generally this is the magnetic dipole moment. So magnetic dipole moment. So once again I am showing the another slide for this. Here there is no bar magnet. Instead of the bar magnet, there was a coil. So this is the coil. So the current is flowing through that. So as in the previous slides, I have given some information. Whenever the current is passing through a conductor or current carrying wire, a magnetic field is developed perpendicular to that. So this is the arrow, the direction of magnetic field. So simply the magnetic dipole moment was represented by mu bar. So here in this case, the magnetic dipole moment was calculated using the formula mu equal to I into A. So suppose when this coil has number of turns, not a single turn. For single turn, this is the formula. If there were number of turns, so here we have written the examples. Current carrying coil mu equal to NIA. So as this formula is just as above, but there was small modification. Here it was small n. Small n is the number of turns in the coil. So by using this formula, we can calculate the magnetic moment associated with a loop of wire. So this can be used in next concepts, used in derivations. Also it is used in numerical problems. So as in the previous slide, we have taken the analogy between magnetic dipole and electric dipole. So here is the electric dipole moment, P equal to Q into D. The general basic formula for dipole moment was charge into separation. So this is the plus, this is the minus. These two charges are separated by some distance. Here it was taken as D. So the dipole moment was Q into D. That means charge into separation. Okay, simple, charge into separation. So this is the analogy. So we have to focus on this magnetic dipole moment. So this is the formula mu equal to IA. That is magnetic moment associated with a loop, current loop. We can simply remember it as the magnetic moment associated with a current loop. If there is n number of turns, simply we can put capital N in front of that formula. So we have to remember this formula. So if single coil, we can take simply n equal to 1, then it becomes mu equal to I into A. So this is the magnetic dipole moment associated with a loop, current loop. So next comes to the next parameter, magnetic induction or magnetic flux density. So here is the thing, magnetic induction or magnetic flux density. It is generally denoted by capital B. So look at the diagram carefully. Simply we can understand the magnetic induction or magnetic flux density. This is the north pole, this is the south pole. So as we have seen in the diagram, and also we have knowledge about the magnetic field lines. They flow from north pole to south pole outside the bar magnet. Here is the field lines flowing from north to south. We have taken only a partial lines. So in this way the field lines are going. So in the path of these field lines we have taken a area. Here this is the square shaped diagram. This is the unit area. So for unit area there are number of some field lines are crossing. Simply so here the field lines are crossing the area. So simply in the definition, if you look at the definition, you can clearly understand. So the number of lines of induction crossing per unit area normally through the magnetic material is a measure of magnetic induction. So here the field lines are crossing an area. So for definition purpose we have taken the unit area. So this is the basic definition. So from the diagram we can easily understood the concept. So the formula is B equal to pi by A. Pi is the flux, A is the area. So the number of field lines crossing per unit area. So in the physics we can easily remember the definitions using the formula. If we forget the formula, it is very difficult to remember the definition. If we remember the formula, we can simply frame the definition using it. So this is the magnetic induction or magnetic flux density. So here the SI units are Tesla or Weber per meter square. So this is all about magnetic induction or magnetic flux density. So next definition was magnetic field intensity, or it is intensity of magnetic field. Generally it is represented by capital H. So magnetic field intensity or intensity of magnetic field. So if we look at the formula, H equal to F by M. So generally we know that F is the force, M is the mass. General interpretation was. So here in magnetism the M stands for pole strength. Okay, M stands for pole strength. So what is this formula literally means? The force by pole strength. So simply we can frame it as the force experienced by a pole. Okay, the force experienced by a pole. So generally the convention is taken as north pole. We can, to calculate the magnetic field strength, generally in convention they have taken as the unit north pole. So if we look at the definition we can easily understood. So magnetic field intensity at any point in the magnetic field is the force experienced by an unit north pole placed at that point. So okay, so this is the simple way of remembering the definition. So whenever you have the formula, simply you can frame the definition. So here the formula was H equal to F by M. So general for F is force, M is mass, general interpretation, but in magnetism it was M means pole strength. So force experienced by a unit north pole. So when this unit north pole will experience a force, whenever it is placed in a magnetic field, so then only it will experience the force, otherwise it is not able to experience any force. So whenever there is a magnetic field, so whenever you can take a unit north pole towards the magnetic field, it will experience some force. So here force means it is either attraction or repulsion. Suppose other side is a north pole, there is a repulsion. Suppose other side is a south pole, there is attraction. So whatever it is, there is some force. So it will experience. So simply the force experienced by unit north pole is called intensity of magnetic field. So in this way you can simply remember the definition using the formula. So it is very important to remember the formula. It is even used in applied in problems also. So this is all about magnetic field intensity or intensity of magnetic field. So next is the next parameter is the magnetic permeability. Magnetic permeability. So the meaning of the concept just lies in the word itself. Many times in physics, the concept was clearly indicated by the word itself. So here, magnetic permeability. So permeability means what is it is allowing. Permeability means how much the material can permit the magnetic field. Simply you can understand in this way. So just for basic information. So permeability is the measure of the ease by which a magnetic flux can pass through a material. So if we look at the definition once, permeability is the measure of the ease by which a magnetic flux can pass through the material. So it is our general attitude in childhood. Whenever you find a magnet, you want to just rub it on some materials like steel, iron. So what happens when you do like that? The material also attracts the magnet. Some materials attracts the magnet and some materials don't attract the magnets. So if we rub the magnetic piece with on a wooden piece, it is not, there is no significant effect. Whenever you rub it on some iron piece or some materials like that, there was some attraction. So in the childhood days, you experience that much of joy. So here is the basic information as I had told in the first permeability word. So while you rubbing on an iron piece, it is attracting. The iron piece was attracting, easily attract the magnet, whereas the wooden material does not attract the magnetic influence. That means simply the field lines are not able to pass through the wooden material in case of wooden material, whereas in case of steel or iron material, the magnetic field lines are easily enter into the piece. So that is simply nothing but ease. Ease means, that is the ease you can simply understand as you have experienced in your childhood. So that is the thing, magnetic permeability. So it is a measure of ease by which a magnetic flux means nothing but field lines, as I have already told in the previous slides and given a picture also. So the magnetic flux is nothing but field lines. So that is the ease by which a magnetic flux can pass through the material. Simply that is the permeability. So this is the material, this is the field lines. So generally the permeability of free space is represented by mu naught equal to 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Weber per ampere. You have to remember it, it is used in calculations. So next thing was, there is another quantity called relative permeability. Relative means comparing with other material. So this is the simple, as I have said in the starting of the slide, the meaning is just in the word itself, relative permeability. So relative permeability means you have to compare the permeability with another material. So here The relative permeability is denoted by mu r, that equal to mu by mu naught. Mu naught is the permeability of free space or vacuum. Mu is the permeability of the medium. So that is the, if we take the ratio of permeability of the medium to permeability of the free space, you can get relative permeability. Okay, that is the simple meaning. So mu r equal to mu by mu naught. Mu naught means free space, mu means in some material. So if we take the ratio, you can get relative permeability. So these are the two same quantities. So these two units get cancelled. So there were no units for relative permeability. So this is all about magnetic permeability and relative permeability. Okay, once again I am giving in a simple way. Permeability is measure of ease by which, so how it can penetrate through the material. In general words I am saying how simply it can penetrate into the material is called permeability. So next thing, relative permeability is the ratio of permeability of the medium to the permeability of the free space. So this is the simple thing. So next parameter was intensity of magnetization. Intensity of magnetization. So intensity of magnetization means, so before going to intensity of magnetization, we just look at the word magnetization. So as I had told in the previous slide, and in our childhood experiences, we have done some simple experiments unknowingly. So whenever you have rubbed the steel or iron material with a magnetic piece, it also behaves like a magnet. We had already observed in our childhood and on later stage also. So that means the steel piece also whenever the steel piece is taken to another steel piece, so it is able to attract another steel piece, not much the top force but with a little force. So that means the first steel piece was acting like some magnet, so it has some magnetic nature. So simply some magnetic nature is technically here termed as magnetization. So okay, the simple magnetization is the non-magnetic piece is converted into magnetic piece. General language I am using here, general language, because of here we are discussing only the basics. You can simply understand by general language. So here the non-magnetic piece is converted into magnetic piece, that is called magnetization. So that is the general meaning. So now comes to the intensity of magnetization. So already I have told the meaning is itself in the word intensity. Intensity means how much technically it got magnetized, how much percentage. Simply we can understand how much percentage it can get magnetized. So this is the intensity of magnetization. So if we look at the definition once, you can simply understand. So it is the measure of degree of magnetization of a specimen. So quantitatively it is defined as the magnetic moment developed per unit volume of the specimen when placed in a magnetic field. So look at the definition. So now look at the formula. You can simply remember the definition. So here capital M is the intensity of magnetization, mu is the dipole moment, V is the So capital M is the intensity of magnetization, mu is the magnetic moment, V is the volume, Mu is the dipole moment and V is the volume, unit volume. So here it is mu by V. That means here mu dipole. So whenever you have given the magnetic field, it get magnetized. That means magnetized means it is acquiring some north pole and south pole. So whenever there is north pole and south pole, from the two poles the magnetic moment will arise. So dipole moment will arise. So that is the mu. So per unit volume. So here we are considering per unit volume how much the dipole moment is getting. So by taking this ratio we can easily compute the intensity of magnetization. So this is all about intensity of magnetization. So next parameter was magnetic susceptibility. So magnetic susceptibility. So if we look at the formula, magnetic susceptibility psi m, here this is m small m, because of here there is also another susceptibility in dielectric. So here we are giving small m. So it is I by h. So simple. If we look at the formula, it is I by h. I is the already we know about I and h. I is the intensity of magnetization and h is the intensity of magnetic field. So the ratio of intensity of magnetization to the ratio of magnetic field. So that is the general definition of magnetic susceptibility. So simply, as we are applying the magnetic field on a specimen, it gets magnetized. So we are taking a simple ratio here, that is the ratio of intensity of magnetization to intensity of magnetizing field. So that is the quantity which represents the magnetic susceptibility. So if we look at the definition, you can easily understand. So it is the measure of ease with which a substance can be magnetized. So again here there is the word ease. So how significantly the material gets magnetized is nothing but the magnetic susceptibility. So by definition wise, quantitatively it is defined as the ratio of the magnetization to the magnetic field strength. Okay, H can be termed in different terminology. It is intensity of magnetic field intensity, or magnetic field strength. Whatever it is simply the magnetic field, what is we are applying to the specimen. This is nothing but H. Okay, H is the intensity of magnetic field, or magnetic field intensity, or magnetic field strength. So simply you can understand by H means whatever we are applying to the specimen, what strength of magnetic field we are applying to the specimen is nothing but capital H. So I is the what amount of magnetization it has got. So I is the what amount of magnetization it has got. So by taking this ratio we can get magnetic susceptibility. So this is the definition. So simple meaning is the ease with which a substance is magnetized, how significantly, how much percentage it gets magnetized is simply nothing but the magnetic susceptibility. So if we look all the properties in a simple manner, I will try to explain it in a just snapshot manner. So the first one is magnetic dipoles and magnetic dipole moment. Already we have discussed it. Once again I am showing another slide. So this is the magnetic bar magnet. So the separation between the poles is 2L. So the magnetic moment was m into 2L. Okay, you can simply look at m into 2L. This is that means pole strength into separation. Pole strength into separation. That is the magnetic moment associated with a bar magnet. So this is the already We have learned the formula. Once again I am simply giving here. So I into A, that is the magnetic moment associated with a current loop. Here it was written, a circular current loop is equivalent to a magnetic dipole magnetic moment. Okay, next. So next thing was magnetization. Magnetization is already we know, just a snapshot manner. Dipole moment per unit volume, m equal to mu by v. Next parameter was magnetic susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility, magnetization by magnetic field strength. Next one was magnetic permeability, that is mu equal to b by h, mu equal to mu naught into mu r, because here the relative permeability mu r equal to mu by mu naught. If we cross multiply the terms, you can get mu equal to mu naught into mu r. So mu naught value is 4 pi into 10 power minus 7 Henry per meter. The next, there is a relation between H, B and M. There is a relation between H, B and M. That means magnetic field strength, magnetic induction, magnetization. That is simply B equal to mu naught into M plus H. B equal to mu naught into M plus H. I will explain the derivation in upcoming slides. So this is the relation. Just remember it. Look at. So again another, there is a relation between relative permeability and susceptibility. Relative permeability and susceptibility. So here the relation is mu r equal to 1 plus psi. Mu r equal to 1 plus psi. This is the relation between relative permeability and susceptibility. This is also a simple derivation. I will explain it in upcoming slides. So this is the brief snapshot explanation of all these parameters once again. So the relation between, the relation between magnetic susceptibility and magnetic relative permeability. I have given the relation in the last slide. Just here I will explain step by step how the relation was derived. So we know that B is proportional to H. The magnetic induction was proportional to field strength, because if we increase the field strength, the material get magnetized more. So by removing the proportionality constant, we can write proportionality, we can write a proportionality constant, that is B equal to mu H, second step. So in the third step, you can write mu as mu naught into mu r, as mu r equal to mu by mu naught. So here B equal to mu naught into mu r H. For simplification, we have added mu naught H and subtracted. So there is no difference at all in this equation. So in the next step, you have we have taken the mu naught H as the first term, and the remaining terms are here mu naught mu r H and mu naught minus mu naught H. Okay, the first term was mu naught H. In the remaining two terms, we have taken the mu naught H as the common term. So therefore in the bracket there was mu r minus 1. So mu r minus 1 can be written as the magnetization capital M. Mu r minus 1 can be written as the magnetization capital M. So in the next step, we have written mu r minus 1 as capital M, magnetization capital M. So here capital M is the magnetization. So the equation becomes B equal to mu naught into H plus M. So from this we have calculated mu naught. Mu naught, obviously mu naught equal to B by H plus M. So now we have to take relative permeability, that is mu r. We know the basic definition formula also. Mu r equal to mu by mu naught. Mu r equal to mu by mu naught. Already we know that mu equal to B by H. This is the formula for permeability. So mu equal to B by H. Mu naught we have derived in the above formula. So mu naught equal to B by H plus M. So here B get cancelled. We can get mu r equal to H plus M by capital H. Mu r equal to H plus M by capital H. So for further simplification, we can get mu r equal to 1 plus M by H, because H by H is 1 plus M by H. So mu r equal to final. So the last step was mu r equal to 1 plus. As we know that M by H is the formula for susceptibility. So mu r equal to 1 plus psi m. Psi m is the magnetic susceptibility. So this is the relation between relative permeability and magnetic susceptibility. Mu r equal to 1 plus psi m. So in this way we can derive the relation between relative permeability and magnetic susceptibility. So I wish to explain it once simple in short manner. So first step is B is proportional to H. Next step is B is equal to mu H. Next B equal to mu can write as mu naught mu r. Next we have added mu naught H and subtracted to make the simplification easier. So in the next step we have written first a mu naught H, and the remaining two terms we have taken mu naught H common. So in the bracket there was mu r minus 1. So mu r minus 1 literally means magnetization. So we have written mu r minus 1 as capital M. So finally B equal to mu naught into H plus M. From that mu naught equal to B by H plus M. So we know that relative permeability mu r equal to mu by mu naught. Already we know that mu equal to B by H. So the upper side is B by H and lower side is B by H plus M. So B get cancelled. Mu r equal to H plus M by H. So finally mu r equal to 1 plus M by H. As M by H represents the magnetic susceptibility, finally mu r equal to 1 plus psi m. So this is the relation between magnetic susceptibility and relative permeability. So in this way we can derive the relation. So next topic was origin of magnetic moment. Origin of magnetic moment. Origin of magnetic moment. So the mass, when we break the bar magnet into number of pieces, suppose we have make it as a 2 pieces, let us say, again each piece acts as a bar magnet. Suppose the fractional part also is allowed to break, then what happen? Again the broken parts also acts as magnets. Whenever we broke all the broken parts, every teeny piece, every piece will act as a magnet. So the magnetic nature arises from at a basic level or inner level. Simply with general language we can say that it arises from a inner level or microscopic level. So from microscopic level the magnetic moment is arising. So the permanent magnetic moment can arise due to, here we have written 3 factors. Generally the permanent magnetic moment is arises due to 3 factors. The first one is the orbital magnetic moment of the electrons. The second one is the spin magnetic moment of the electrons. And the third one is the spin magnetic moment of the nucleus. So by these 3 factors the permanent magnetic moment is arises. So whenever we have broken a magnet into number of pieces, each teeny magnetic piece will act as a magnetic moment. So it has some basic level, inner level at which the magnetic moment is arises. So the factors are these 3 factors. The first one is the orbital magnetic moment of the electrons. The second one is the spin magnetic moment of the electrons, and the third one is the spin magnetic moment of the nucleus. I can simply explain it in a diagram so that you can easily understand the basic point. So if we look at the diagram, generally we know in an atom electrons are revolving around the nucleus in orbits. Okay, so this is the structure of atom. Generally all we know, this is the nucleus. So in these orbits the electrons are revolving. So the the electron is revolving around the nucleus in an orbit. That means whenever electron is moving, the charge, electron is nothing but charge. Whenever charge is moving, a magnetic field is associated with it. So by this the magnetic moment arises. So this is the first thing. So this is the orbital magnetic moment. Okay, look at the pointer. This is the orbital magnetic moment. Next, the electron makes spin around itself. We know that the electron has spin. So whenever the electron having spin means it is moving. It is moving means the charge is moving. So whenever the charge moves, the magnetic field is associated with it. So next here comes the second part. So the spin magnetic moment associated with the electron. And next the third one is the nucleus. As all we know that nucleus also has the spin. So whenever the nucleus spins, there is some magnetic field is arises. So by magnetic field, there is some magnetic moment. So this is the third. So first one is due to orbital motion. Second one is due to spin motion. Third one is due to spin of nucleus. So from these three factors, the permanent magnetic moment is arises. So whenever we have break the magnet into pieces, for every piece there is a number of atoms. So for every atom there is some magnetic moment. So by this way the permanent magnetic moment arises. So this is the origin of magnetic moment. So these are the three factors. So the first one is the orbital magnetic moment. The second one is the spin magnetic moment of the electrons. The third one is the spin magnetic moment of the nucleus. So I have already give you the image so that you can easily understand. So in the next lecture, I will explain the derivations for orbital magnetic moment, how much contribute each part of the magnetic moment to the atom. We can see the derivations in next lecture. So thank you friends for listening this video.